What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the SO Show. Today we about to talk about Bronny James. You know what I'm saying? This has been well overdue. I should have been hopped on this, but I didn't. But because of the draft, because the NBA draft day kicks off in a few days, it kicks off from June 26th to the 27th. So because of that, now we're gonna talk about Bronny James. Bronny James is in a very special situation right now, and not just because he's LeBron's son, but just because of everything he's went through in just 1 year of college basketball. So we all know he suffered a cardiac arrest episode. It wasn't. I think it was during training camp at USC and stuff. So ever since he recovered and came back, he was always on minute restriction, and basically he was just coming off the bench, doing what he could, and he ended up averaging a little under 5 points a game, 4.8 points a game, uh, almost almost three rebounds, and 2.1 assists, shooting on 36% clip, and shot 26% from three. Now, and he was 67 sub 70. He was sub 70 shooting from the free throw line. So he shot 67% from free throw, and he played 25 games. Now, what helped Bronny out, like for drafting wise, like it increased his stock. He's expected to be an early second round pick, uh, in the mid 40s. They're saying early 40s, mid 40s. He had a 40-inch vert at the combine. He shot 19 for 25 from 3 point. That was like the second best. That was the second best shooting performance in that whole combine. He was top five in the most, the highest vertical, which was that 40.5 inch vert. And he had a 6'7" wingspan, listed at 6'1". Now his whole high school career he's been listed at 6'4". He was always listed at 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", but he was without shoes. He's 6'1", officially listed at 6'1", 210 pounds. Now that's very small for a combo guard, especially a 3 and D guard. That's very small for a 3 and D guard in today's game. A lot of these NBA owners, a lot of these NBA teams and managers, they like to go after, they like their point guards to be 6'4", 6'5", even 6'6". You know what I'm saying? So he's going to struggle with that just off of that alone, his player profile like that alone. Um, yeah, he's been interested. Teams, the Los Angeles Lakers have been interested. The Dallas Mavs, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Phoenix Suns, and the Toronto Raptors. They all have been interested in Bronny. From what we've gathered and what we heard from teams around the league, those are the teams that has been giving him the most interest so far. And his agent Rich Paul, and basically Rich Paul basically coming out. Rich Paul is giving he's putting everything out on the table. He's laying out on Rich Paul is laying everything out on the table right now as far as what 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 team best suits Bronny. It's not all about what LeBron wants. It's not all about, even if a team, takes on Bronny, it's not 100% guaranteed that LeBron is going with Bronny. But that's what Rich Paul is saying basically. Rich Paul is basically coming out and saying that we want the best fit for Bronny. It's not about LeBron. It's about Bronny and what team best suits Bronny. What team is gonna, develop him as best as possible. What situation makes sense for the best for Bronny's future in player development. With this whole Bronny situation and getting drafted and being in the NBA, I just don't think Bronny James is ready. He's not ready. It's This is a different age where we see it in the NFL, we see it in the NBA. These teams, a lot of rookies are playing. It don't matter what sport it is. A lot of these rookies are playing their first year off the bat. If they're not starting, they're getting guaranteed minutes, and teams want their production right away, like that. Like they're not trying to develop a guy for you know 3 years, 4 years. They're not trying to wait for that. They want to win now. A lot of these teams in these sports, they want to win now. So with Bronny's situation, with him only being 6'1", he does have the 6'7" wingspan, and that helps. You know what I'm saying? Again, he's a 3 and D guy. So he's not necessarily a score first type of guard. He's never been like that. He's never even been like that in high school. he's a playmaker. He's a natural playmaker who's going to play defense. He's going to play on both ends. He's going to he's gonna play defense on the end. He's gonna guard the best player on the court or whatever. He's gonna be up for the challenge. Offensively, he's just a playmaker. He's going to set his guys up for open shots, open look. He's going to make the best, basketball decision that would make sense. That makes sense, in that game, in the game flow. He's going to make the best decision regardless. And he shoot the ball. Now he doesn't necessarily shoot the ball well from three. Now, again, he only played a season at USC, so it's not too much you can really go off of for Bronny. And that's what's not that's the main thing that's not helping his case at all. You only stayed at USC for a season and you didn't produce a lot. Like I'm looking at his game stats. His highest game his high scoring game was 15 points. That was the most points he ever scored, and it was against Oregon State, and they lost. They lost that game. So I mean, it's not really too much you can really go off of Bronny just because of his limited experience. You only played 1 year in college. Me personally, I just feel like Bronny should have just stayed another season or maybe even two. You know what I'm saying? And try to develop him, try to develop his skills, develop, get a sense of the game. Like you didn't really showcase anything in college to where his NBA scouts can be like, yeah, I can 100% see him excelling at the next level. I don't know, man. It just feel like this whole situation ever since Bronny declared for the draft, it's just been so confusing because he was saying he was declaring for the draft, but he still wanted to stay in school. He still had that eligibility. He would have went. He could have went to the G League. He might have. It was just a lot. It's the whole situation was confusing. But now that we know that he's clear on making it to the NBA, I just feel like it's just so hard for him, and he just been getting so criticized from the media, from media to fans to even NBA owners, NBA general managers are clearly pointing out. Anonymous GMs are saying in the league that yes, he would have been, if he would have shot the ball better from three at his first year at USC, he would have been an early first round pick. Other GMs are saying Bronny hasn't even played. He's not ready for the NBA. They simply put in it like he's just not ready for the NBA at all. You haven't showcased anything. You haven't proven anything. You haven't even proved to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Bronny James, it's like if you see his stats, if you see the game log, but not even just set alone, don't even look at the stat sheet. Just look at the games. Look at all of USC games and how he played in them. There were some games where he was confident. He was passing the ball around. He was setting guys up. Other games, he's taking a seat back. He's getting his confidence levels. He has major confidence issues within his game. It's like, again, like one game, he's shooting the ball, he's confident, he's shooting the ball out, he's passing the ball around, he's setting up teammates, and then other games, it's just like he's scared to even take a shot. Or if he does take a couple shots and he misses those shots, he don't shoot the ball for the rest of the game. And that's where that's where a lot of scouts are taking, they're taking all of this in consideration. And setting aside from him just being LeBron's son, it's still, Bronny still has to produce. Whether or not he's LeBron James, the best basketball player to ever live, you know what I'm saying? Bronny still has to go out and prove it to the world, and not only to the world, and not only to his dad, maybe, but to himself. Like he has to perform at a high level, even if that just means coming off the bench. Even let's say he do get drafted, even if he's just coming off the bench, he has to make every single minute count, and that goes for summer league, that goes for preseason games, that goes for any situation involving him on a professional level. He just has to prove to himself that he can actually play on this level. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about this whole situation. Where do you think Bronny will land at? What team do you think will pick him up? And let me know if his transition to the NBA will work out or not. Let me know. But that's it for this episode of the SO Show. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for more.